What's up, everybody? Tommy here, Math Productions Gaming, and this episode is part of our modded survival playthrough, Surviving the Commonwealth, but specifically we're going to focus on unlocking Abernathy Farms as a usable settlement for our network of settlements that we're going to be setting up here, trying to clean up the Commonwealth, right? It's just west of the Concord Water Tower. That's right outside of Red Rocket, and you just head there, and there's more often than not two of the giant flies that'll be kind of parallel with the water tower. For some reason they flew off, or I already killed them somehow without realizing. I'm pretty sure dog meat got to them. I don't know, but they weren't there this time. But this is the only time I've ever gone this way for the first time and not had to kill two of those bug things. But either way, when you head west from Red Rocket, again, you go past the water tower, you just go to those big power pylons, and at the base of one, you'll find Abernathy Farms. There is a whole bunch of potato plants. There are some melons that they're just getting going. If you talk to two ladies that are there, one of them, if you harvest melons for her, she'll pay you a decent amount of caps per melon, and one of them becomes a trade vendor. But Blake is the one that you need to talk to get the quest to find a locket for their daughter, who was the victim of a raider attack. They stole her locket, and they request that you could maybe put an end to those raiders and get that locket back for them. So that's what we're doing here. Is we left Abernathy Farms, went back east, across Red Rocket, and we were hugging the water that surrounds Sanctuary as we're heading east, because I'm trying to get to the radio station USAF Olivia with the least amount of resistance as possible. We are playing survival, which is not inherently like a permadeath run, and I have never stated it's a permadeath run. We are definitely going to take some L's along the way, but maybe it's just pride or ego, I don't know. I try to treat my runs as if they're permadeath runs. I know eventually I'll take an L and I'll keep going, but I try to prevent that first L for as long as possible. So that's why I like to hug the water south of Sanctuary as you're heading east. You can then bypass a few raider encampments that are there. We'll come back to them for sure, because there's decent loot, there's fun encounters. We'll come back to them. But at this point, we just want to, as quickly as possible, as easily as possible, unlock Abernathy Farms. So eventually we'll get to that southeast corner of the water line where it gets into a fairly steep rock ledge, cliff ledge, and you're going to climb up that while still heading kind of east, and you cannot help but to run into a fence line. That is this abandoned facility, like a junkyard, robotics junkyard, I think is what it is technically. But in there is a sentry bot. You can, I immediately go into that little pavilion and I grab the holotape so that way I can activate it. There's like 5 or 6 mole rats that spring up and attack. That's why we were just chilling in that pavilion, and I kept shutting the door, because again, I don't want to take an L. So we let that sentry bot handle the light work for us. And when it was all done, we just cleaned up the spoils. We left the fat man there for the time being. It's super heavy. We don't need it right now. We know where it's at. It's safe. We're just going to leave it there. And then if you head out of the, one last step, go back into the holotape for the sentry and activate its defense mode, engage the defense mode, and you can send it specifically to USAF Olivia. And that's how we were able to just walk right up here, get out of our power armor, take a rest. Oh, there's the rest of the mole rats. I was going to say the sentry. Oh, man, that was close. Wow. But anyway, the sentry bot, when we sent it over here, cleared out most all the raiders on the outside, left us to only have to deal with the raiders that are on the inside. And of course, when you head south, you'll see that down vertibird in the middle of a field, just north of the nose of the vertibird, if you will. is a free power armor that will spawn in based on the level when you first enter the cell. Because we're low level, it's an incomplete T45. But if you go back for the first time, if you go there for the first time at a higher level, if you don't come here early on in the game, that power armor will level up with you. But so far so good, right? We wanted to, as quickly and easily as possible, unlock Abernathy Farms. Gives us some extra, I want to say companions, but then I don't want to mislead. Like, you can't take them out into the field, but like, I just feel like if we were our actual character in this setting, having some living, breathing, normal seeming human beings that I can interact with that aren't just trying to kill me, I feel like that's invaluable. So I want that ASAP, right? I want to have a base of operations where nearby I have people that have my back. I don't know if that's selfish, I don't know, but that's what I would want personally if I was that character. That's why we're doing this so early in the playthrough. But again, so far so good. Free power armor. A sentry bot did most of the heavy lifting for us. This is the only time when my plan really fell apart. So normally I have ranged bullets available for a range scoped weapon, and the easiest way is if you walk out onto that scaffolding. There's even out there another weapon. There might have been the ammo I needed. I don't know. I didn't go that way. I just went ahead and accepted the fact that I didn't have the range weapon I needed, and we were going at it with the pistol. Which against AK is a bad idea, especially in survival. But normally you use some jet and you have an elevated sniping position. You can see into the hallway where AK starts at, and you can shoot one of the patrolling minions in the foot. That'll lead everybody that this doorway that we ran into just now, they'll all run out, and if you've popped that jet and time is slowed, it's super easy to take them all out, including AK, without having to worry about that minigun at all. Now luckily, we're fairly lucky on the sticks playing the game, and with the pistol and the power armor, we were able to make it. Dog meat, he took some injuries, but we stim packed him back up. We'll come back at some point when we can hack this terminal because there's another mini nuke in that locked room. But you saw once we got into that bottom room, the red toolbox next to a locked door, which there's some goodies back there, not super needed. We'll come back to them at some point. But in that toolbox, the first item you can grab just says Locket. That is the Locket that we're looking for. For time's sake, I cut out the footage. After we grabbed the Locket, we literally just ran back the way we came, back up to the junkyard, down along the water line, across the water line, avoiding all encounters, made it back to the red rocket. Since it was super dark and there was a storm going, we went ahead and slept for 8 hours so we could get fully rested, get that buff, and we're going to use that buff here with daylight. Once we can find Blake, where is this dude at? See, these are those melons I was telling you about. Here we go. So we're going to talk to Blake, let him know that we got the Locket for him. He is super happy and generously offers that we can use his workbench if we need to do any crafting. And that's how we know that we can officially unlock Abernathy Farms and use it in our own settlement network. But yeah, I hope this video helps you out. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, I hope you press the like button. I hope you consider subscribing to the channel. There's a whole lot more on the way. Let me know in the comments what you think down below. And as always, take care.